Chapter 3280. I don't understand. What does killing Amy have to do with what's going on between us? Because everything started because of her, Lu Yen said without hesitation. But even without her there are still many problems between us. You just can't see it clearly, Xiao Fei said faintly. So you're saying, I'm blind? Lu Yen was furious. I didn't say that. Xiao Fei, who gave you the guts? Do you think I like you so much that you can go to heaven? Lu Yen was furious. But I didn't. No matter how angry Lu Yen was, Xiao Fei was still calm, which was what Lu Yen couldn't stand the most. Cut the crap. Are you going to kill her or not? If I kill you, you'll forgive me? If I don't kill you, you won't forgive me? Xiao Fei looked up at Lu Yen questioningly. What do you think? Lu Yen's tone and attitude were very bad. If I kill her, will you marry me? Xiao Fei asked her. What does that have to do with marriage? If you kill her, I'll believe that you don't hate me because of this woman, Lu Yen emphasized. So even if I kill her, there won't be any further development between us, right? What development do you want? Lu Yen looked into Xiao Fei's eyes quietly. Forget it. Pretend I didn't say anything. So what do you want now? Lu Yen looked at Xiao Fei, who was still holding the gun but had no intention of shooting. I won't kill her. I don't want to kill innocent people. There's nothing between me and Amy. If I kill her, it'll make me look narrow-minded, Xiao Fei said. Bullshit. Lu Yen couldn't take it anymore and cursed. It's okay if you don't believe me. I didn't mean to say more. So, you've made up your mind to break up with me rather than kill this woman, right? Lu Yen pointed at Amy's head angrily. I don't want to break up with you and I don't want to kill her. Xiao Fei, who do you think you are? The sun? The earth revolves around you. If you don't want to kill her, get out. I won't let you go. Lu Yen asked him to leave. Hearing this, Amy immediately grabbed Xiao Fei's pistol and pointed it at her head. Young Master Xiao, it's all my fault. Please don't fight with boss. I'll die. Once I die, everything will be fine. With that, she pulled the trigger. Lu Yan's attitude was cold. Xiao Fei, on the other hand, had a small stone in his hand and knocked Amy's gun out of her hand. Don't be silly. The problem between us is no longer a matter of whether you die or not. Even if you die 100 times, it won't solve the problem between me and her. Xiao Fei said. Someone's feeling bad for her. A hero saving a damsel in distress, right? Lu Yen sneered. If that's the case, then I won't explain. I'm tired. Stop acting all high and mighty in front of me. Yen, think about Sister Mion and brother-in-law. They've been through so much, but the only reason they're still together is because they trust each other. Look at us. You say you're good to me, but when have you ever trusted me unconditionally? I trust you on the premise that you won't betray me, not that you're having an affair with my female subordinate. Lu Yen cursed in exasperation. I told you I didn't. But I don't believe you, Lu Yen continued to yell. No matter what I do, you'll think I've betrayed you. If that's the case, then what's the point? So what do you mean? You want to break up with me? Lu Yan's heart sank. Chapter 3281. Don't you think we both need to calm down? Xiao Fei asked. Finally, Lu Yen only said twice, which seemed to contain thousands of words. It seems you've made the final decision. Then Lu Yen slowly walked toward Xiao Fei. Then she punched Xiao Fei's lower abdomen viciously. Caught off guard, he bent over and squatted on the ground. Then Lu Yen lifted her foot and kicked Amy, who was kneeling on the ground, into the air. This kick could be said to be full of strength. Boss. I'm sorry. Amy spat out blood but still managed to kneel on the ground and confess her sins. Amy, you've been with me for a long time. In the past few years, you've fought all over the world. Even if you didn't make any contributions, you've worked hard for me. Since you've worked for me for the past few years, I won't take your cheap life. But, don't let me see you again. You'd better be smart and avoid my people. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Boss. Get out. Lu Yen only said one word. But her eyes were full of murderous intent. In the end, Amy didn't even dare to breathe. She scrambled out. Lu Yen glanced at Xiao Fei indifferently. You should go too. Yen, don't say it. Even if we're not lovers, we're not enemies. Lu Yen can't do that. Go. Then Lu Yen opened the door and left. Xiao Fei was left alone. An hour later, on the balcony on the top floor of the hotel, Lu Yen drank a bottle of wine alone and was a bit drunk. Boss. Her subordinate stood behind her and didn't dare to walk up. Speak. They're gone. Where did they go? Lu Yan asked. They went back to Russia. I saw young Master Chow bought a plane ticket to Moscow. Hee. I knew it. Lu Yan smiled in disappointment. Amy went back with Chow Fei. Bastard couple. Good job. Lu Yan looked up at the sky and sighed. Boss, should we send people to do it? They haven't boarded the plane yet. The airport is full of our people. If you give the order. No need. Boss, but the two of them betrayed you. I said no. Don't you understand? Lu Yan raised her voice. Yes, I understand. Then get out. Lu Yan roared. Then she smashed a wine bottle onto the ground. Looking at the floor full of glass, the subordinate didn't dare to say anything. He hurriedly pushed the door out and closed it. How is it? Is boss still very irritable? After they left, the other subordinates asked. Of course. Boss is in a bad mood. He seems to be a little drunk. Fuck, I can't take this lying down. How could that bitch Amy betray us? How dare she seduce young Master Chow? Yeah, I don't understand either. Most importantly, why would young Master Chow fall for her? She's not even 1% as good looking as our boss. You don't understand. Most of us men think with our lower body. I heard that boss and young Master Chow haven't done it yet. So that bitch Amy must have taken advantage of the situation. After all, young Master Chow is a normal man. It's understandable that he made a mistake. But I didn't expect young Master Chow to break up with boss for Amy. That's not right. Boss found out about their scandal and broke up with him. Both of them seem to be injured. I think boss beat them up. She didn't beat them up too badly. With boss's temper, she would have exploded their heads. A few of his subordinates whispered and gossiped in low voices. Suddenly, Lu Yan opened the door abruptly. The subordinates immediately fell silent. Book a plane ticket for me right now, Lu Yan said drunkenly. Hey, boss, where are you going? Sea City, China. Chapter 3282. On the night of Jixin's engagement, everyone seemed to be in a good mood when they went home. That night they even collectively mocked Tang Chuan in the group chat for a while. After returning to South Hill Manor, Pudding ran directly to her grandpa. Grandpa, I blackmailed Uncle Tang for a tea set today. Oh? Our pudding is that good? Chin Chu's father lovingly patted his granddaughter's head. Yeah. Grandpa's birthday is coming soon, so I got the present in advance. You're so smart. Chin Chu's father couldn't stop smiling. Pudding, he's your future uncle. We can't bully him, Grandma persuaded her granddaughter. Grandma, don't worry. I won't take it for free. I've already transferred the money to his account. This kid. Chin Chu's mother didn't know what to say. The twins had always been precocious and knew everything. Especially Pudding, who had been involved in investments and stocks since a young age. Chin Chu and Huimin had allowed her to do so. After flirting with her grandparents for a while, Pudding went upstairs with her phone. Uncle Tang, I've transferred the money to your account. Check it. Kid, I told you I don't want the money. What are you doing? You're slapping me in the face. How can I not want it? I don't want to give it to Grandpa for free. Just take it. I didn't give you a lot. You lose money. Pudding smiled. It's okay. After all, I'm your uncle, Tang Chuan said proudly. After sending the WeChat message, Tang Chuan was still in Su Yu's car, sighing. Pudding is amazing. She's so young, but she knows what she's doing. She even transferred the money for the tea set to me. Tang Chuan looked at his phone and received a message from the bank. Pudding didn't give him a lot. She only transferred 800,000 yuan to Tang Chuan. But since she gave him the money, it meant she didn't take it for free. Tang Chuan appreciated this approach very much. This was not something that a child could understand. My Pudding has always been so sensible. There's nothing wrong with what I do. Su Yu was especially proud, as if Pudding was his daughter. That's why I told you before. You might as well not look for a wife. Wait for 20 years, when the two girls grow up you can pick one. Tang Chuan smiled. Go to hell. If you say that again I'll castrate you. Su Yu glared at Tang Chuan. Upon hearing the word castrate, Tang Chuan subconsciously covered his crotch, as if Su Yu would really do that. Oh. I'm counting on this to give my Ning Ning happiness. That's enough. Don't be so smug. The whole world knows that you slept with Qin Ning. Everyone on earth knows. Mr. Tang, this is enough for me to be happy for a year. Tang Chuan was smug. I'm not going to chat with you here. I'm going home. Whoa. You're coming home early these days. Are you sleeping with Zeng Ro? Don't talk nonsense. I only have meals with her and Shaoan is always there. It's okay. You're not familiar with her the first time. Maybe one day you'll get excited and sleep with her. Tang Chuan smirked. Do you think I'm as perverted as you? It's not perverted. It's a normal need for us men. You're unmarried and don't have a moral bottom line. So this time go ahead and eat. But you'll taste it. You make it sound like I'm a virgin. Forget it. Go back to sleep. Then Suyu turned on the engine. Tang Chuan got out of the Lamborghini. When he passed Anne's car, he glanced at Zeng Ro with a smirk. Behave yourself, Tang Chuan said to Zeng Ro. Chapter 3283. What the hell? Zeng Ro was baffled. Huh. Miss Zeng, don't mind him. Our Mr. Tang is always like that. He likes to joke around. He's Suyu's best buddy, right? Zeng Ro found everyone had left after the banquet. Only Tang Chuan had stayed to talk to Suyu for a while, so they must be close. Yes, he and Master Wei are our boss. They grew up together and they've always hung out with our boss except for the few years when our boss was in the army. Their relationship is very, very deep. Shaoan looked at the brotherly relationship between the men and seemed to be slightly moved. Suyu served in the army? Zeng Ro was surprised. It seems you didn't do your homework. Our boss served in the special forces and won glory for our country, and said proudly. Awesome. I didn't know he was like that. I thought he was just a super rich second generation who liked to eat, drink and flirt with girls. Zeng Ro chuckled. Our boss has many good qualities. You'll be surprised if you get along with him. Zeng Ro chuckled. At this moment and received a call from Suyu who was in the car in front of him. Let's go back. Okay, President Su. Tell Zeng Ro to come back. Tang Chuan left, Suyu said. Miss Zeng said she'll take my car. Suyu, she said you drive too fast and don't feel safe, and explained to his boss. Suyu, but Suyu's face darkened when he heard that. His driving skills were so good, but he was despised by her? Hanging up, Suyu stepped hard on the accelerator. When Zeng Ro realized what had happened, the car was gone. It's normal. President Su has a short temper, and said awkwardly. It's okay. I'm used to his temper. If he speaks to me gently one day I'll be scared, Zeng Ro said calmly. Haha, alright. And suddenly felt that Zeng Ro was an interesting woman. If it had been those women in the past, they would have been eager to get into Suyu's car. However, Zeng Ro would rather sit in his car because he drove steadily. This girl was too realistic. Rick's car was parked outside Nielingshuan's house. Cici walked her sister to the door. The two sisters were reluctant to part. Cici, when will you come back? Nielingshan held Cici's hand and asked intimately. I don't know yet. Our child might be born there. You know Rick is very busy. If it weren't for Sister Mion, he wouldn't have stayed here for so long. Okay, then I'll miss you. I'll go to America with my parents to visit you. You have a baby now, so you have to be careful and be careful. I got it. Sis, you should go back and rest. Knowing that her sister was not in a good mood today, Cici hurried to urge her. Okay, I'm leaving. Nielingshan was about to turn around. Oh yes, sis. Huh? Nielingshan looked at her sister, who seemed to want to say something but stopped on second thought. Sis, you have to end your relationship with Suyu. You can either give up or confess your love to him. Confess my love? I've expressed my love to him in a roundabout way before, but President Su doesn't seem to be interested in me. Now that he has a girlfriend, if I confess my love to him, wouldn't I be immoral? Will people call me a homewrecker? Nielingshan bit her lip and asked hesitantly. Chapter 3284. It's not like that. Sis, I asked around and found that woman isn't President Su's real girlfriend. What? Nielingshan was slightly surprised. Zeng Ro was arranged by the Su family for President Su. She's only living here temporarily, but President Su doesn't like her. How do you know President Su doesn't like her? Maybe she's his type, Nielingshan said in a low voice. Because Suyu likes Sister Mion, Cici said matter-of-factly. Biting her lips, Nielingshan wanted to say something but didn't know how to refute. Her sister was right. The whole world knew that Suyu liked Huamin. President Su likes Sister Mion so much that he won't change his mind easily. If he doesn't like you, he won't like anyone else. So, Sister Xingro is no match for him. The problem is that you haven't confessed your love to President Su openly. Are you sure you're willing to give up like this? Nielingxian wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. Sis, I just want to ask you one question. If I asked you to go on a blind date or find a boyfriend, would you agree? Nielingxian shook her head. You still love Suyu, don't you? Nielingxian hesitated for a moment and then nodded. It's impossible for God to take pity on you and let Suyu come to you one day and tell you he loves you. You have to fight for your own happiness. Even though Sister Mian is so excellent, she's still working hard on her marriage and love life. So, you can either give up and forget about Suyu completely, find a boyfriend and live a good life with him, or take the risk and confess your love to him. The worst result is that you'll be rejected. You won't lose your head. But, if I'm rejected, how can I face President Su in the future? Will he hate me? Look, you're too timid and always think too much. That's why you've been so useless these years. You joined Imperial Star as a trainee even earlier than Zhao Qingya and Mian Mian. But look at them, they're all famous now. You're only famous now. You're the same when it comes to love. But don't say I didn't warn you. If you hesitate, so you might have a wife and kids. Nielingxian, sis, life is short. If you don't do something now, you won't have a chance to do it when you're old and you'll definitely regret it. Just do what you want to do. It's just a matter of whether you succeed or not. I really don't think it's that hard. Cici tried her best to persuade her sister, not wanting her to continue to be a girl who had to swallow her pride. Cici, you're right. Sis, I'm not trying to brainwash you. I just want to say that we never know which comes first, life or accident. People are fragile. If you don't say it now, you might not have a chance in the future. After all, you've liked Suyu for so long. It's not a bad idea to let him know, right? Yeah. I'm too timid, so others always get to him before I do. If I confess first, Xingro might not be able to move in. Cici, I'll listen to you this time. I've decided to give it a try. With her sister's encouragement, Nielingxian seemed to be more confident. So don't think about anything. Go back and have a good sleep. Think about confessing to Suyu. Okay. After the sisters separated, Cici returned to the car. Is your sister okay? Rick asked. She's fine. He's just obsessed with Suyu. Yeah. I'll ask her to confess to him. That's not a good idea. Rick looked at Cici and didn't seem to agree with her. Chapter 3285. Why do you say that? Cici looked at Rick in puzzlement. I don't think Suyu is a good fit for a woman, Rick said. Honey, you don't think Suyu is gay, do you? Cici burst into laughter. No, I don't think so. Then what do you mean? Rick rarely gossiped about anyone, so when he mentioned Suyu, Cici was interested and wanted to ask more. What I mean is, Suyu is too obsessed with Huamian. No woman can enter his heart. Why do you want to mess with him? Who said that? Didn't you see that Suyu brought a date this time? Cici wasn't convinced. But he doesn't love that woman, Rick retorted calmly. Whether he loves her or not, she's still his date. How do you know that Suyu doesn't like her? Suyu likes Sister Mian, but she has a family, a husband and a baby. She's pregnant now. No matter how much he likes her, Suyu can only let it go. So he has to find his own home. My sister is stubborn. She's had a crush on Suyu for a long time. She tried to be nice to him, but he didn't respond. So when she saw that Suyu has a girlfriend, she felt very sad and lost her soul as if she was seriously ill. I mean, she should make a quick confession. If she succeeds, it'll be better. If she doesn't, she'll give up. If Suyu says something heartless, my sister's glass heart will be completely broken. It's better than letting her imagination run wild. You're right. Let's give it a try. But I don't think there's much hope, Rick said. Let's give it a try. What if Suyu's mind is messed up and he accepts my sister? Cici was optimistic. I hope so. Rick then slowly drove away with Cici. South Hill Manor was already 11 o'clock at night, but Huamin was still reading in bed. What are you looking at? Qin Chu came out of the shower and kissed Huamin's forehead. Songyang Jiatsua. Huamin smiled. Our Dr. Hua is so literary now. Instead of medical theories, he's changed to Zen Buddhism? That's right. Everyone says that his sentences are beautiful. What do you think? Qin Chu hugged her and asked. It is indeed very beautiful. Which one do you like? Isn't it the most famous saying, worrying too much about love harms Fan Xing? Entering the mountain fearing that other people will overturn the city? Is there a way to get the best of both worlds, to live up to Tathagata and to live up to you? Wow, hubby, this is the first time I've heard you recite a poem so seriously. Huamin raised her head and hugged Chinchu's neck coquettishly. Your hubby knows a lot of things. Do you want to try something else? Mr. Chin's hand slid down and touched everywhere. Huamin immediately covered her chest with her hands. Don't be a pervert. Your son is looking at you, Huamin said with a smile. It's okay. I'm just performing for my son so he can learn from me. It'll be easier for him to pick up girls in the future, Mr. Chin said and then shamelessly pinched her. How can you educate your son like this? Huamin was speechless. It's okay. My son, Chinchu, wants to be free-range. We don't need to restrict him. He can develop freely just like his two sisters. Then forget it. If we don't restrict his two sisters, they'll become spirits. It's better to restrict them. Huamin had a headache thinking about his two daughters. Honey, we're off topic. You still haven't told me which one you like the most. Chinchu took the book from Huamin's hands and looked at the beautiful poems. Guess. I'll give you one more chance. Let's bet 50,000 yuan. Huamin became playful and leaned on Chinchu's shoulder with a smirk. Chapter 30-86. No, Mr. Chin refused without hesitation. Why not? Because I don't have money. I despise you. Huamin punched Chinchu on the shoulder. I really don't have money. I gave all my money to my wife. Mr. Chin said innocently. Huamin couldn't stop laughing. Then she hugged his arm and said coquettishly, then tell me what you like. Me. It's probably the line from that date that everyone likes. There's a line in it, that life turns around mountains, rivers and pagodas, not for the sake of the next life, but for the sake of meeting you on the way. I knew it. Huamin laughed. What about you? Do you like that line too? No. My favorite line is, all these years, you've been in my heart. I've let go of the world but I've never let go of you. Yeah. That's a beautiful line too. You lost, right? Give me the money. Huamin reached out her hand. Honey, can you be any more shameless? I told you I don't want to bet. It's not up to you. If I say bet, then bet. Transfer the money, don't go back on your word. Your son is here watching you. Huamin pointed at her belly. You can only threaten me with my son. Then Mr. Chin really did take out his cell phone and transferred 100,000 yuan to her account. Well, you gave me 100,000 yuan when we agreed on 50,000 yuan. You're really rich. Huamin held her cell phone proudly. No. I'm giving you the extra 50,000 yuan for the next time you scam me. Let's call it a day, Mr. Chin said calmly. Sir, why don't you pay for it every month? It's cheaper that way. When the husband and wife started joking around, there was no limit to it. After a while it was already close to midnight. Chinchu patted Huamin's shoulder. Honey, it's time for you to sleep. What about you? I don't want to. I want to watch the game, Chinchu said. In the past Huamin would have believed him. However, things were different now. Ever since Xiaowei told her about Chinchu's condition, her heart had always been heavy. She had been worried about Chinchu's sleep. I'm not sleepy either. I'll watch it with you. No, you have to sleep, Mr. Chin said sternly. Then I'll go get some warm milk. It's said that milk is good for sleep, Huamin said as he stood up. Chinchu reached out to stop her. Let me do it. You lie down and don't move. Chinchu only poured a cup of warm milk. When he brought it over, Huamin said, Hubby, I don't want to drink anymore. Can you drink it for me? Chinchu was speechless. Why don't you drink it? Otherwise it would be a pity to waste it. Chinchu immediately drank the milk that his wife didn't want to drink. Then Huamin turned on the Bluetooth speaker beside the bed and played some soothing music. Hubby. Yeah. I've recently learned a new massage technique. It's very good. I'll teach you first. After you learn it, you can massage me, okay? That way my headaches will be much better. Okay. Chinchu nodded. Then lie down. I'll give you a massage first. You can learn it. Okay. Huamin was very particular about the method. If he directly asked Chinchu to sleep, Chinchu would never agree. So Huamin thought for a while and decided to use this method. First, he coaxed him to drink a cup of warm milk. Then he played some soothing music to help him sleep. Now he was going to give him a head massage. The cycle was gradual, hoping that it would help Chinchu's condition. At Su Yu's private mansion at Xixin's engagement party, They didn't eat much because they wanted to have fun. When they came back, Zheng Ro made a plate of fried rice with leftovers and eggs. Then she took out a bag of pickles and ate it. When Suyu walked over, he didn't even invite her. Instead, he grabbed a handful of fried rice and put it into his mouth. "What are you doing?" Zheng Ro looked up and asked him. Chapter 3287. I'll try it. Are you Indian? This is egg fried rice, not handheld rice. You're disgusting, see? Calm down. I'm just passing by. Fine. Whatever. Zheng Ro lowered her head and was about to continue eating. Suyu went to the kitchen, took an iron spoon and began to eat with big bites. Didn't you say you'd try it? Zheng Ro protested. I didn't taste anything. I have a slow sense of taste. So I must try it carefully, Suyu said as he ate. Damn it. You can do that? Zheng Ro's eyes widened. By the time she came back to her senses, the plate of egg fried rice, which wasn't much to begin with, had already been emptied. Eating it with pickled vegetables, he actually found it to be quite delicious. Do you still want to eat? If you don't, I'll finish it. Suyu pointed at the last bit of egg fried rice on the plate with his spoon. You can have it. I'll cook another plate. Zheng Ro stood up. You still want to cook? Then cook one more portion. I'm not full yet, damn it. You said you'd try it. Zheng Ro was still thinking about Suyu's try. Yeah, I just tried it. It's not bad and I can eat it. So I'll try more. You're shameless. Zheng Ro couldn't take it anymore. Suyu took out his wallet and put 200 yuan on the table. A plate of egg fried rice at the snack bar outside is only about 158 yuan. Even a 5-star restaurant is only about 158 yuan. How about this? I'll give you 200 yuan and the extra will be your tip. Alright, hurry up, I'm not full yet. 200 yuan? Do you think I'm a beggar? Let me tell you, it's 888 yuan. Otherwise I'll quit. Zheng Ro sat back in her seat. Sure. Anything that can be solved with money is nothing. I'll give you 2,000 yuan. Cook another plate for an, Suyu said. Do you really think I'm a nanny? Zheng Ro didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You really think too highly of yourself. Our nannies are all very experienced. You're at most an intern, Suyu said. In the end, Zheng Ro gritted her teeth, stuffed the 2,000 yuan into her pocket and went back to the kitchen. 20 minutes later, Suyu and Zheng Ro were eating egg fried rice together. He was watching a variety show on TV. President Su, I think variety shows are very profitable these days. I think our company can get more artists to sign on for variety shows. Whether it's hardworking military training, tearing designer labels, pretending to be in love, or even taking dolls on trips, it'll greatly increase the exposure of the artists, and suggested. I've already accepted a few, but most of them are fake. Some fans don't like them very much. It's okay if they act well, but if they don't act well, it'll be very pretentious and counterproductive. Suyu objectively evaluated reality shows. Suyu Liangxian is the most popular actress in your company right now, right? Zheng Ro suddenly interrupted. What? Suyu glanced at her. Nothing. I'm just asking. I think she's the only actress in your company who's good at acting. The others are all trash. Trash is better than you. If you go up there, you'll cry for half a day. Suyu chuckled. Humph. Don't look down on me. I'm not in the entertainment industry. If I were, all the actresses in your company would be doomed. I'm telling you, Zheng Ro exaggerated. To be honest, Zheng Ro, I think you're the cutest when you're bragging, Suyu said seriously, and almost choked on his rice. He wanted to laugh but didn't dare to. Suyu, how can you compliment someone like that? You're not done with insulting me. Spit out your rice. Zheng Ro held a spoon and gestured to hit Suyu. Ding dong. At this moment, someone suddenly rang the doorbell. Chapter 3288. What's going on? Zheng Ro was dumbfounded and looked down at his watch. It's so late. Why is someone visiting us? Go open the door. Suyu didn't care. He was enjoying his meal and didn't plan to move. He ordered An to open the door and followed his boss's order and went to open the door. When he saw the person standing at the door, he was slightly surprised. Yeah, why are you here? To be honest, and didn't expect Liangxian to come so late at night. This girl was quite shrewd. After Cece told her the truth, she tossed and turned in bed, unable to fall asleep. He thought it made sense. Pessimistically, if something happened to Su Yu or herself tomorrow, she would never be able to confess her love to him. So she got up in the middle of the night, put on makeup, and drove to Su Yu's house without her assistant and agent's knowledge. However, she didn't expect Su Yu's house to be so lively, and the three of them were having supper. "I'm here to see President Su. Is he home?" Nie Lingxian asked gently. He's home. Please come in." And had been with Su Yu for many years and had seen all kinds of women. Most of the women in Imperial Star were scheming bitches. Few of them were as honest and shy as Nie Lingxian, which meant she didn't look like an actress. After she became famous, many rich second-generation heirs and businessmen in the city were interested in her. But she rejected them all and even refused to attend dinner parties. Because she was an actress of Imperial Star and one of Su Yu's employees, the media often made wild guesses about her and Su Yu. So, those who had bad thoughts about her didn't dare to do anything to her. Her fans all knew this girl wasn't young anymore but was still single. Many fans even openly chose boyfriends for her. Some even recommended her to go on a dating reality show, hoping she could find her true love. However, this girl was completely stubborn. Except for Su Yu, she didn't want to get close to any other man. Maybe because she came with an obvious motive, Nie Lingxian was dressed very formally. It was a very decent dress that didn't expose any part of her body. It was very conservative, but it was also very beautiful. Nie Lingxian put on light makeup and let her long hair down. Her light blue dress matched her white crystal shoes. She was wearing the latest Cartier bracelet on her wrist, which was said to be worth hundreds of thousands. There was only a simple pearl necklace around her neck. She was good-looking and had a friendly face. Therefore, she was popular and had a good reputation in the Imperial Star Entertainment. Shaoan also liked this girl and felt that if the boss married her, he would be very happy. At the very least, she looked virtuous, gentle, and virtuous. However, Su never seemed to have such thoughts. "President Su, Miss Nie is here," and reminded him in a low voice. Hearing that Nie Lingxian was here, Su put down his spoon and stopped eating. Instead, he stood up and looked at her in surprise. "Why are you here?" Nie Lingxian was about to speak when she saw Zheng Ro beside Su Yu and stopped. You guys talk. I'll go wash the dishes." Zheng Ro stood up and ran into the kitchen with the bowls and chopsticks. Zheng Ro had seen this girl during the day and the whole world could see her feelings for Su Yu. Zheng Ro thought she shouldn't be a third wheel and interrupt their conversation. This was the basic etiquette of her manners. "President Su, I have something to talk to you about." Nie Lingxian clasped her hands tightly, looking very nervous. Chapter 3289. Okay. Su Yu nodded, thinking she was here to talk about work. After all, he was the manager of a big entertainment company and many female artists often used tricks to complain to him. He was used to it. Can we go somewhere else? It's not convenient here." Although Zheng Ro had left and was still here. Besides, they were in the living room, so Nie Lingxian didn't think it was a good place to confess her love. "Alright then, come out with me. Let's go to the courtyard." Su Yu turned to the fridge and took out 2 cans of Coke. He handed one to Nie Lingxian and opened the other for himself. He drank as he walked. Nie Lingxian took the Coke and followed Su Yu silently. They walked to the yard one after the other. Su Yu's private mansion had a beautiful view and a big yard. In the summer, Tang Chuan liked to come here to eat and drink. It was a great place. On one side was the swimming pool and on the other side was the sofa where they could chat and play cards. The summer night breeze was refreshing. Su Yu walked to the sofa and sat down, continuing to drink Coke. After eating and drinking, he seemed to be in a good mood. In the mansion and stood by the window and looked out curiously. "Hey." Zheng Ro patted him from behind, startling him. "What are you doing?" "You scared me, Miss Zheng." "Haha. You peeked at Su Yu. That's immoral of you." "I didn't. I was just protecting President Su. What if Nie Lingxian does something bad to President Su?" And said, "Nonsense. That girl obviously likes Su Yu. How could she do anything bad to him? You just wanted to find an excuse for peeking at him." Zheng Ro chuckled. "She likes President Su. What if she can't control herself and molests President Su?" And quibbled. "Humph. How can there be such a good thing? If there is, President Su will benefit from it." Zheng Ro curled her lips. Hey, Miss Singh, you're President Sue's girlfriend in name. Aren't you worried that your boyfriend was called out by another woman? What's the use of worrying? And was speechless. Besides, this girl's small body is no match for Suyu. If she really intends to seduce Suyu, then I really need to take a good look. The outside world says that Suyu is gay. If he really doesn't like women, then why am I still here talking to him? Run. If he has a reaction to women, then I'll stay and continue to observe. And was speechless. Why are you looking at me like that? Miss Singh, you're really a weirdo. Shawan sighed. Thank you for the compliment. My teacher said the same thing to me when I was young. Zheng Ro wasn't angry. The two of them sneakily peeked out of the house. Because it was very quiet in the middle of the night and the distance was not very far. Therefore they could hear what Suyu and Yelingxian were talking about. Suyu took the coke and glanced at Yelingxian. Didn't you say you wanted to talk to me? Go ahead. Yes. Yelingxian bit her lips. She didn't seem to have the courage to do so. At this moment her heart was in turmoil. Do you not have enough money to spend? Do you want to borrow money from me? Fu asked. No, President Su. I have money. Then what do you want to do? Do you want a raise? No. Do you want to ask for a villa or a car from the company? Suyu continued to ask. No. Yelingxian shook her head vigorously. Then I really don't know what you want to do. Suyu looked at the empty-handed Yelingxian. She didn't even bring soup. Why did this woman come to his house in the middle of the night? Chapter 3290. President Su. Yelingxian stammered. Suyu, ? President Su. I like you. Yelingxian made up her mind, closed her eyes and said the whole sentence. Suyu spat out a mouthful of coke which stained Yelingxian's dress. And almost fell on the floor. Fortunately he had his hands on the windowsill. Well, she's confessing. Zheng Ro sighed with her hands under the sun. That's so dramatic. And was surprised that the timid and submissive Yelingxian dared to confess to his boss face to face. So you must be feeling wonderful right now. I want to ask him if he's surprised or not. Zheng Ro snickered. I don't know if he's surprised or not, but he's definitely shocked. Look at our boss, he spat out his coke. And looked over. Ahem. Suyu not only spat out his coke but he also almost choked on it. He coughed violently. Seeing this, Yelingxian hurried over and knocked on Suyu's back. President Su, are you okay? I'm fine. Don't touch me. Stay away from me. Suyu stammered. Yelingxian immediately stood 3 meters away from him. Looking at her wet dress, Suyu immediately changed the subject. I'm sorry. I stained your dress. Go in and change. I'm sure Zheng Ro has clean clothes. Don't worry. It's okay. Yelingxian was surprisingly calm. Suyu didn't know what to say. President Su, let me finish first. I've thought about it for a long time. If I don't say it now, I'll never have the chance to. I know it's not the right time or too late to say it since you have Miss Zheng Ro as your girlfriend, but I still want to tell you what's on my mind. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Ahem. Go ahead. Seeing the girl was determined to confess, Suyu didn't change the subject. However, he lowered his head in embarrassment. In the past, when those women wanted to get close to him, they would either seduce him or send him ambiguous and explicit WeChat messages. How could Yelingxian confess in such a serious way? What era was this? If such a confession were to spread out, wouldn't he be laughed at? But Suyu wouldn't laugh at her because Suyu knew that when he confessed to Huamin, he was just as straightforward and honest. Therefore, even if he was unwilling, he could not trample on the girl's sincerity. President Su, I've liked you for a long time. I've never been in a relationship and I didn't know what it felt like to like someone until I met you. I've been at Imperial Star for a few years now, but I've never been popular. I joined Imperial Star because I heard you were powerful and no one dared to sleep with our actresses. After I joined, I realized it was true, so I've been staying at Imperial Star and doing what I like. I remember that year. It was the Mid-Autumn Festival. You bought a lot of mooncakes and gave everyone red packets. When it was my turn, you didn't have enough red packets, so you took out 3,000 yuan from your wallet and gave it to me. That sincere smile touched me for a long time. People who don't know you say that you're a rich second-generation heir who relies on your family's influence to do whatever you want. You eat, drink, and play, but I know that you're not. You have a kind heart and you never bully the weak. When your employees are bullied, you immediately stand up for them. You're a good boss. Ahem, thank you for the compliment. I did what I should do, Suyu replied awkwardly. Why did he suddenly feel like he had a halo around him? Chapter 3291. Nia Lingxian continued. In the beginning, I was just a small-time actress and didn't have many opportunities to interact with you. But you didn't look down on me because I was just a small-time actress. You even promoted people like me who had been working in the company for years but didn't become popular. That's how I got the chance to make a name for myself. All these years, the company has treated me well, and President Su, you've also taken good care of me. Every time we met, every word you said to me is deeply imprinted in my mind. When I get home at night, I'll reminisce about it alone for a long time. Suyu blushed slightly at her words. In the beginning, I thought I was just admiring you. Gradually, I realized it wasn't like that. When you liked Dr. Huamin, the whole city knew about it. Some people laughed at you, some were jealous of you, some scolded you secretly, and some encouraged you. But I felt sorry for you because Dr. Huamin has someone he loves, and she can't give you any response. So you've had a hard time loving her all these years. That's all in the past. Dr. Hu is now my best friend, Suyu said, trying to deceive himself. I know. That's why I was thinking if I should confess my love to you. Maybe you can give me a chance. President Su, I really like you. I've liked you for years. I fell in love with you shortly after I came to Imperial Star. The difference is that I'm different from other women. I don't want fame or money, and I don't want to climb up the Su family. I just like you, President Su. Even if you're not the president of Imperial Star or the young master of the Su family one day, I'll still want to be with you and stay by your side. Just like all the other couples in the world, we'll live the most ordinary life. I'll do your laundry and cook for you, we'll talk about life, we'll talk about our dreams and the future. Nia Lingxian was quite eloquent, but sometimes she was too shy and introverted, so she rarely spoke so much. Suyu didn't know Nia Lingxian could be so talented when she was serious. Although he didn't go so far as to speak eloquently, what he said was indeed very heartwarming. It was all from the bottom of his heart. In the room, and An Xingro listened attentively. I didn't expect Nia Lingxian to be so good at talking. I didn't expect her to be so good. And shook his head and sighed. You can't judge a book by its cover. The seawater is so damn cold. Xingro said. You can't judge a book by its cover. Miss Xing, I'm not well educated. Don't lie to me. And looked at Xingro in disdain. Ha, don't be so serious, young man. That's how people joke on the internet. You're still laughing? Miss Xing, why are you so careless? Is someone confessing to our President Su now? And looked as if he expected better from her. So, what should I do? Shouldn't you be worried? If I'm worried, he won't confess. Don't tell me I have to gag her mouth. There's no need for that. Look at how well she said it. She confessed her love for Suyu. It's obvious that she's liked him for a long time. If I were Suyu, I would be touched. But you're President Su's real girlfriend now, and reminded her. But we're partners. We don't interfere with each other. If Suyu really likes this girl, it's not a bad thing. At least she's not a bitch. What? You're really going to give up President Su? And looked incredulous. Don't talk. Keep listening. Let's see what Suyu has to say. Zheng Ro gestured for him to keep quiet and continued watching the confession scene. Chapter 3292. President Su, yeah. I hope you can accept me. I'll try my best to be your girlfriend and take good care of you. Ahem. Suyu coughed violently again. Vilnya. In fact, I understand your feelings. But Zheng Ro is living in my house now. So you wanted to use Zheng Ro as a shield. After all, he had agreed to let her live in his house and take the title of his girlfriend because he wanted this effect. I've asked around about Miss Zheng. President Su, you and she are just partners. Ahem. Which damned person told that? Suyu looked dumbfounded. The information I got is reliable, so President Su, you don't have to use Miss Zheng as an excuse. If you don't like me, it's okay, you can just reject me. I won't pester you and I won't use any tricks. I just think that if I don't say these words now, I won't have the chance to do it again. I'm fulfilling a wish that I've had for many years. You, I love you. I want to be with you forever. I want to grow old with you, give birth to your babies, sleep with you, and be your wife. Hearing Yellingshuan's words, Suyu felt his hair stand on end. This young lady usually looked honest. Why was it that when she opened her mouth she was so shocking? Wow wow wow. Zheng Ro exclaimed. Miss Nia is serious. Huh. My boss seems to be dumbfounded. And couldn't help but laugh. This confession is too impactful. She's such a beautiful girl. No man would be able to reject her. He's finished. I think your boss is going to fall for her. Then why don't you go and save him? And looked at Zheng Ro. Forget it. I admit defeat. I really think this girl is good. Zheng Ro got up and said seriously. You admit defeat? And was surprised. What else can I do? Do you want me to go out and confess? Huh. Even if I confess, Suyu won't believe me. We've only known each other for a few days. This girl has loved Suyu for years. She really felt that Suyu was not bad with her. Nye Lingxian even said that she wanted to sleep next to him and bear his children. It was obvious that Nye Lingxian was going all out this time. If it was in the past, Suyu might have directly rejected him. But this time he probably didn't expect such an effect. He was shocked. Before Suyu could react, Nye Lingxian walked over and held Suyu's face in her hands. She gently kissed him on the lips. Although it was a light kiss like a dragonfly skimming the surface of the water, it was like a sudden clap of thunder that made Suyu's heart explode. My boss was kissed. And was shocked. Will your boss be stripped down to his underwear? Zheng Ro was also shocked. I don't think so. Is my boss that weak? And was also dumbfounded. Suyu pushed Nye Lingxian away. He spilled Coke all over her. I'm sorry. I'm really not used to it. Suyu didn't know what to say and seemed to be flustered. I should be the one apologizing. I was too abrupt. But I couldn't help it. Suyu, give me an answer. Chapter 3293. Little Nya, it's too sudden. Suyu wasn't mentally prepared. He had been eating egg fried rice and drinking Coke at home as usual. He didn't expect such an exciting thing to happen in the middle of the night. It's okay. Take your time to think about it. Let me know when you're done. Nye Lingxian turned to leave. Your dress is wet. Go in and change. Suyu got up and walked in. When he opened the door he saw En and Zheng Ro eavesdropping in line. He was speechless. Go and change her clothes. Suyu pointed at Zheng Ro. Okay. Zheng Ro nodded and led Nye Lingxian back to her room. Suyu and En were in the living room and the atmosphere was weird. Boss? Someone just confessed to you. And said. So how long have you been eavesdropping? Suyu glared at En. I didn't eavesdrop. Our house is only so big and you were talking so loudly. When I woke up this morning I noticed my right eye twitching. Sure enough. You're lucky if your left eye twitches and you're lucky if your right eye twitches. But I don't think you're lucky. If you want it I'll give it to you, Suyu asked him. No. I don't have the fortune to enjoy it. Didn't you break up with your ex-girlfriend? Do you want me to introduce little Nya to you? No. Boss, I really can't afford it. My ex-girlfriend was nice at first, but I didn't expect her to be so snobbish. I don't want to talk about her, and said with deep melancholy. And knew a female college student who was a senior at the Broadcasting Academy. It was said that she made money by doing live broadcasts. She wasn't very pretty but she was very gentle. Once when she was doing an outdoor broadcast her phone was robbed by a biker gang. And happened to be out on business so he helped her. Then the girl invited him to dinner. He didn't eat because he was in a hurry to get a car. The girl insisted on leaving his WeChat number so they chatted passionately. They even went on 2 dates but later, when an investigated the girl's background he discovered a painful truth. That girl seemed to have a relationship with an old married man in the city. To put it bluntly, she was a mistress. Many luxury goods, including a new mobile phone and branded bags, were given by Ling Tianyi. Later on, as they chatted, the girls would intentionally or unintentionally mention what they wanted, as if they thought that Shaoan was a rich second-generation heir. After all, and had driven Suyu's Lamborghini out that day. After En figured out what the girl was thinking, he decided to let her go in order to give her an explanation. He directly said that he was a chauffeur, not a rich second-generation heir. The car was not his and he was also an employee. Sure enough, from then on the girl never contacted him again, but she did not delete him. Because of this, Shaoan was sad for a while but he got over it later. Today when Suyu brought up the matter again, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. President Su, you can't do this. You're confused after being confessed to, so you're venting your anger on me. Is this really okay? Suyu felt a headache coming on. In Zheng Rou's room, she found a comfortable casual outfit in light pink and gave it to Nie Lingxian. Thank you, Miss Zheng. Beauty, I admire no one but you. Ah, you've completely conquered Suyu. Zheng Rou gave her a thumbs up. Miss Zheng, I'm sorry. What I did makes me your rival in love, right? Nie Lingxian sounded uneasy. Chapter 3294. No, I'm not. Suyu and I are just partners, Zheng Rou confessed. I know, Nie Lingxian said calmly. You know? It was Zheng Rou's turn to be surprised. Yeah. I asked around before I came. I knew about your relationship, so I came here to confess my love. Okay. You win. It seems you're well prepared. Anyway, it's the last time. No matter what, I won't confess my love to him again. After the confession, Nie Lingxian found that she felt much more relaxed. That heavy, boulder-like thing in her heart had disappeared. You're brave. As a woman, I admire you. I'm not slandering you. Zheng Rou admired this woman. As an A-list actress, she had to take the risk to confess her love in a way that only high school students would do. Not many women in the entertainment industry could do this. After all, everyone was thinking about their own future. It's nothing. I can finally say what I've been suppressing in my heart for a long time. I got what I wanted. Have you thought about it? It's good that Suyu accepts you and everyone is happy. But what if he rejects you? Will you feel awkward? You'll feel awkward when you see him again. Zheng Rou's question was indeed a critical one that Nie Lingxian had been struggling with for a long time. I was scared before, but it doesn't matter now. I suddenly realized that compared to embarrassment, not having a chance to confess is scarier. One of my fans sent me a private message yesterday saying that a landslide happened in a remote mountain area in her hometown in the early hours of the morning. The entire village disappeared in the darkness of the night as if it never existed. There were more than 200 villagers in the village, but none of them survived, including my fan's parents and brother. She was studying in another city and wasn't home, so she escaped the disaster. However, she lost all of her family that night. She said that she doesn't know what's the point of living anymore. This incident touched me a lot. Accidents happen in a few seconds and some people are forever separated by heaven and earth. I'm afraid that if I don't confess now and something happens during filming, I'll never have the chance to confess. So you will never know that there was a woman like this who loved him deeply, right? Nie Lingxian's words were sad and Zheng Rou was touched by her words. You're right. Life is unpredictable. Since you're alive, you should do what you like. It's just a confession. At worst, you'll be rejected, Zheng Rou said with a smile. Yes. In the face of life and death, these things don't matter. So I've prepared myself before I came. Nie Lingxian smiled gracefully. Then, I wish you good luck. Zheng Rou reached out her hand. Thank you, Miss Zheng. Nie Lingxian was grateful that Zheng Rou didn't mock her or accuse her of seducing Suyu shamelessly. Otherwise, she would feel conflicted. After changing, Nie Lingxian and Zheng Rou went downstairs. Ahem. And let's go out and look at the stars. Zheng Rou thought it was time to give them some privacy, and gave Zheng Rou a look that said, "You're so careless." Then they opened the door and walked out. Embarrassed, Suyu didn't dare to look at Nie Lingxian. The moon tonight is quite round. Suyu tried to find something to talk about. Chapter 3295. Suyu, have you made up your mind? Nie Lingxian asked directly. Suyu felt awkward again. Give me an answer. Be serious. Xian. It was the first time Suyu had addressed Nie Lingxian in this way. He was not used to it and felt goosebumps all over his body. Nie Lingxian looked at Suyu quietly and seemed a little nervous. She felt as if the teacher was going to announce the results of an exam when she was a child. Xian, you're a good girl, a good actress and a good employee of Imperial Star. Suyu paused deliberately. Nie Lingxian looked at him nervously and didn't say a word. But I think you're really not my type. You're not my cup of tea. I know that saying this might hurt you, but I still have to make it clear to you so that you don't waste your time on me. I understand. Nie Lingxian's eyes filled with tears and she almost cried. It was the first time in her life that she had confessed her love to someone, but she was rejected so easily. She felt terrible and wanted to cry. Don't cry. Listen to me. Go ahead, President Su, Nie Lingxian said in a choked voice. Love is all about fate and mutual affection, right? It's not like you two are meant for each other just because someone thinks you two are meant for each other. You have to find a feeling that you can't describe. Su tried his best to describe what he was thinking. Is it the feeling you have for Dr. Hua? Nie Lingxian asked. Su was slightly surprised at first and then nodded. Yes, you're right. It's that feeling. You'll laugh at me if I tell you this, but in the past few years, I haven't found a girlfriend because I like Mion and can't let go of her. Even now when I see her, my heart still flutters. Her every frown, smile, movement, and even every word she says to me is a kind of happiness. You may think I'm crazy, but this feeling exists and is very real. I believe you and I understand. I feel the same way about you. After saying this, Nie Lingxian's tears rolled down her cheeks. Her tears were like pear blossoms in the rain, making one's heart ache. Outside the window and stuck his head in from time to time. Oh, Miss Nie seems to be crying. I wonder what President Su said to her, and murmured to himself. How can you think about it? Your president must have rejected the girl. You must be happy. And looked at her. It's none of my business. Su rejected her not because of me but because he loves Huamin. You're telling the truth. And sighed. Of course. I'm an honest person. Aren't you afraid that President Su will never like you because of Dr. Hua? And glanced at her from the corner of his eyes. What's the use of being afraid? Won't it happen if I'm afraid? Xingro asked. So you're going to wait and see. If our boss is still so stubborn, you'll run away, right? Yeah. If I find out that Su Yu is stubbornly in love with another woman, I'll be useless here. Chapter 3296. So, Xiaoxian, you can understand me, right? I understand. Nie Lingxian was still crying. Please don't cry. I hate it when women cry. Su didn't know what to do. He wanted to wipe the girl's tears with a tissue, but he didn't want to do that. Since he didn't want to be with her, he didn't want to give her hope. So I don't have a chance at all? Dr. Hua has a family and she has a baby, and a beloved husband. You can't be with her, right? You can't be single forever. Can you give me a chance? Nie Lingxian lowered her head and said to Su Yu in a pleading tone, I'm sorry, Xiaoxian. I don't have the courage to try something I don't dare to try. Please. I don't want to hurt you. I'm not afraid of being hurt, Nie Lingxian said stubbornly. But I'm also afraid of hurting myself. What about Miss Zeng? Why are you willing to cooperate with her but not with me? Nie Lingxian asked boldly. That's because we don't have feelings for each other. Xingro has a guy she likes and I have a girl I like. Our cooperation is just for our families to see. It won't affect our personal lives, so we won't hurt each other. Then will you get married? Nie Lingxian asked in tears. I don't know. I can only say that I won't for now. I really don't plan to get married, Su said honestly. Hey, I understand. Anyway, thank you, President Su. Then Nie Lingxian turned and ran away. Hey, wait. Don't run so fast. I'll get someone to drive you. No. I can go by myself. Nie Lingxian covered her mouth and ran out crying. Su immediately opened the door and looked at and go and follow her. I think she's emotionally unstable. I'm afraid something will happen to her. Yeah, I'm on my way. And immediately followed Nie Lingxian out of the shop as instructed by his boss. Su heaved a long sigh and sat down on the sofa. Here. Xingro took out a can of beer from the fridge and handed it to Su. You sure know how to get it for me. You knew I wanted to drink. Su glanced at Xingro. Because you're in a bad mood after rejecting the girl. Yes, she's a good person. She has a good reputation in our company and in our circle of friends. Then why didn't you accept her? Do I have to like her just because she's nice? Do you think I'm such a compassionate person? I'm not a central air conditioner, okay? Su said snappily. I think you're worse than a central air conditioner. You don't even give her any warmth, Xingro joked. That's right. Woman, are you just going to laugh at me? How is this a joke? I really think this girl is good. You're not jealous? Su deliberately asked her. You're kidding. I don't like you. Why would I be jealous? Xingro rolled her eyes at him. I hope so, Xingro. Don't fall in love with me. Really, I don't want to hurt anyone. Suyu said in a low voice. Suyu, if Huamin didn't come back this time and she died, what would you do? Xing Rou suddenly asked seriously. I've never thought about that. In my heart she won't die and will never die, Suyu said firmly. Does Huamin know how much you love her? Xing Rou had felt sorry for Nie Lingxian, but now she felt even more sorry for Suyu. If you love someone deeply to the bone, but that person doesn't know about your almost crazy love, is it a kind of sorrow? Chapter 3297. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know either. Suyu took a big gulp of beer in frustration. You know it won't work, but you're still so stubborn. Is that okay? The problem is, can I control myself? Suyu smiled bitterly. Okay. In the end, Xing Rou didn't know what to say to persuade Suyu. She knew it wasn't easy for him. The next day, the media reported that Nie Lingxian was going to quit the entertainment industry and study in the States. At 4 a.m. in the morning, she wrote a post on her Weibo. She said, I'm a little restless and confused about the future, so I want to study abroad for a while and come back to school to find my peace. The semester is 1 year and I won't accept any movie or TV roles or commercials. At the end of the post, she emphasized that she hasn't terminated her contract with Imperial Star and will stay here. She also asked the media not to make wild guesses. At 8 a.m. in the morning, the PR department of Imperial Star released a statement after consulting with Suyu, explaining that Nie Lingxian was going to study abroad. At the same time, Suyu's and Nie Lingxuan's Weibo were both flooded with comments, and their fans were in a war of words. Most of Nie Lingxuan's fans felt sorry for her. Xian, why are you leaving so suddenly? There was no warning at all. Baby Xian, did someone bully you? Tell us, is there an internal strife in your company? Did a green tea bitch come in again? May, no matter what decision you make, we'll always support you, love you and wait for you to come back. Honey, you've been working in so many movies recently and you're exhausted. Take it as a vacation. We'll always be here for you. Your decision makes me wonder if it has something to do with Suyu. Did you break up with him? Is it because of the new female streamer who moved into his house? That shameless woman will help you scold her, that shameless mistress. Xian, why are you leaving? We miss you so much. Don't go, okay? Even if you don't act, we'll be happy watching you shoot commercials. As for Suyu's Weibo, most of them were gossipers. President Su, you know the inside story of Nie Lingxuan's temporary retirement from the entertainment industry, right? Su, did you freeze Nie Yan? Her acting skills are not bad. You should let her out. Really, she's much better than that cotton candy. Scumbag, when you were dating our Xian, you even hooked up with a female broadcaster. That woman even took over your villa and lived in it. You guys will get your retribution. Go and die, you bastards. Xian Bao is so sad this time, it must have something to do with you. Just keep acting. If you lose our Xian Bao, you will regret it for the rest of your life. President Su, are you trying to promote the newbie? When is the audition for this batch of newbies? I'll sign up. Lord Su, don't listen to the bullshit of these haters. It has nothing to do with you, so we won't take the blame. It's none of your business whether Nie Yan leaves or not. You're the boss and she's just an employee. Some haters have a lot of imagination. What the fuck? In the end, the two groups of fans argued, forcing Nie Lingxian to post on Weibo. My decision to study abroad has nothing to do with anyone. Please don't make a big deal out of it. It's really not that complicated. Regarding my temporary retirement from the entertainment industry and study abroad, my company has given me a lot of support and understanding. Thank you, President Su, for your support. After Nie Lingxian posted on Weibo, the storm calmed down a little. Huamin saw the news when he got up in the morning. He wanted to ask Suyu about it but didn't want to be too nosy. After thinking for a while, she called Cici. Sister Mion. Cici, what's going on with your sister? Huamin asked. Chapter 3298. Sister Mion, my sister. Cici looked like she wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. It's okay. If it's not convenient for you to tell me, I won't ask. No, it's not inconvenient. My sister confessed her love to Suyu and failed. Cici said in one breath. Huamin didn't know what to say. It's my fault. She's been in love with Suyu for so long and she's been in love with him for so long. She's been in love with him for a long time, and it's hard for her to accept him. So I thought it would be best if he accepted her, but I didn't expect her to react so strongly. Last night she cried all night and her eyes are swollen. She even posted on Weibo that she's going to retire from the entertainment industry. It seems like my sister has a fragile heart, but it's fine, I've discussed it with my family. She's not in the mood to work at home, so she might as well take this opportunity to go out and relax. I see. Yeah. It's hard for your sister. He is stubborn. He's not easy to talk to. Your sister is good, but love is all about fate. That's right, Sister Mion. I've been in love before. I know it. So don't worry too much. Comfort your sister. Oh, Sister Mion, Rick and I will treat you and President Chin to dinner tonight. Wow. That's great. Humin smiled. We're flying back tomorrow morning. You're going back? Humin was reluctant to leave. It's not that soon. If it weren't for your accident, I wouldn't have the chance to come back for so long. Now that you're safe and I've visited my family, Rick still has a lot of things to deal with in the States. You know the nature of his work. Hey, I understand. Let's have dinner together. Send me the time and place on WeChat. Yeah. See you tonight. See you tonight. After hanging up the phone, Humin thought about Nielingxuan's departure. Nielingxuan's confession to Suyu wouldn't work, because Suyu didn't seem to be able to pay attention to women. What Humin was worried about was that Suyu's imperial star had worked so hard to groom such a popular star. Why would she run away? Who would support imperial star in the future? This is a problem. However, Humin wouldn't specifically talk to Suyu about this. After all, he couldn't interfere too much with other people's work. If outsiders saw it, they would misunderstand their relationship. Therefore, Humin decided that he would tell Suyu about it when he had the chance to see him. Inside the office of the president of Imperial Star, the vice president pushed up her glasses. She was a woman in her 40s. She was swift and decisive, and she was very capable in doing things. She was also a manager that Suyu had poached with a high salary. She didn't seem to approve of Nielingxuan's study abroad. President Su, how can you agree to let Nielingxian study abroad? What else can I do? Suyu looked indifferent. She's our pillar now. Chapter 3299. Do you think I'd treat my employee like that? Suyu's face turned cold. But President Su, we're doing this for the benefit of the company. Benefit? Do you think I'm short of money? Suyu continued to interrogate her. Then, that's enough. That's all for today. Nielingxuan's matter is settled. I'll support her study abroad and sponsor all her tuition fees in the States. I'll also give her a house and a car for her use in the States. This is what I should do as the boss. But, shut up. Get out. When Suyu got angry, he was terrifying. Seeing that her boss was really angry, the vice president didn't dare to say more. Finally, she shook her head and walked out. Outsiders didn't know what was going on between Suyu and Nielingxian, but the employees in the company knew. Suyu and Nielingxian barely spoke to each other all year round. There was no reason for the rumors that Suyu had fallen out of favor because he had a new lover. None of those rumors were reliable. Although the incident had been settled, Zheng Ro was innocently involved in it. She liked to do live streams, so when she was bored at home she would play a few rounds of Mobile Legends and chat with her fans on livestream. But after this incident, Zheng Ro began to be criticized for no reason. Bitch Zheng, you're so cunning. You forced a big star to leave. Bitch, you'll die a horrible death as the other woman. You won't have a good ending. Zheng Ro, does your mother know you're so ugly? Zheng Ro replied angrily, my mother knows. Thank you. Bitch. How can you be so shameless? In order to pursue Suyu for money, power, and to marry into a rich family, you shamelessly went to Suyu's home and pestered him. I heard that Beauty Nya broke up with Suyu and went to the States because of you. Is it okay for you to break them up like this? I'm not a fucking third wheel. Thank you, Zheng Ro replied domineeringly. Look at you. You're so young, but instead of finding a boyfriend, you seduce someone else's boyfriend. With your character, the Su family won't accept you. Don't dream of becoming a phoenix. I hope that after Suyu gets tired of you, he will heartlessly dump you. Fuck. Does your mother know how vicious you are? Zheng Ro was speechless. It was the first time she had such a heated argument with a fan. Xingro, I used to like you and thought you were humorous, but now I realize that you're a total bitch. I'm now an anti-fan. Goodbye. Even if it's a watch, it's still a Rolex. Take care, thank you, Xingro replied to her fans while sipping Coke with a straw. Xingro is such a shameless woman. Let's do a human search on her. Make sure she can't leave the house. Human flesh search me? Hee. If you can fucking human flesh search me, I'll call you dad. Xingro sneered. The quality of fans these days was really bad. They didn't even get to the bottom of the matter and started scolding. That wasn't all. Many people couldn't resist online violence and ended up committing suicide or suffering from depression because of human flesh search. Xingro couldn't stand these fans being so vicious at such a young age. Yes, she wasn't bragging when she said that. Her father was so powerful that if he wanted to human flesh search her, it would take a lot of effort. Even the director of the Public Security Bureau wouldn't dare to do it. At this moment, Suyu sent her a WeChat message. Xingro looked down and saw it was a voice message. Chapter 3300. Are you okay? Suyu asked. No. I'm still alive. Huh. Stop it. Be serious. I'm really fine, Lord Su. I'm really fine, Xingro explained with a chuckle. Because of Xiaoxian, you've been in the limelight for no reason. I'm really sorry. It's okay. Just give me 5 million yuan as compensation. Suyu, haha. I was kidding. You didn't take it seriously, did you? No. I just wanted to say that sometimes some fans are crazy, so I thought, what do you want? You want to protect me 24/7? Xingro teased Suyu. I wanted to send you back to the provincial capital to lie low for a while. If you want to come back, you'll have to wait until things calm down. So, you want to drive me away? That's not what I meant. Don't talk nonsense. Suyu was worried. Nialing Xuan's confession failed and she went to study in the United States in disgrace. She even won Suyu's strong support. But at this moment, Xingro became the scapegoat and was regarded as the culprit who ruined the relationship between Suyu and Nialing Xian. In fact, those who knew the truth knew that in these years, the only culprit who could affect Suyu was Huamin. Even though she had a family and was pregnant with her second child, she was still Suyu's most cherished bright moon. Xingro was a little naughty and had the temperament of a female rogue, but she was a person who knew her place. Suyu, did I cause you any trouble? Why do you say that? Suyu replied in a low voice. It's because of my arrival that you mysteriously fell in love with someone else and became a scumbag. I think that I might have appeared at the wrong time. There's nothing wrong with the timing. In life, there are some things that you can't guard against. If you follow the prescribed order, it's not life. Damn. You sound so profound. Xingro chuckled. So, what is your decision? Do you want to go home? It's not my style to hide at home. I'm not a turtle, Xingro said. But the situation right now is really bad for you. Even if Shaoan protects you, I'm afraid there will be times when he's careless. I'm really afraid that the fans will do something crazy to you. Are you really worried about me? Of course. Hey. Since you're so kind, I'll go abroad with a tour group for a few days. I'll go home. I don't want to see my parents' cold faces. To them, I'm just a defective product. Huh. If they weren't so old, they would probably kill me in the cradle and have a second child. Don't talk nonsense. Who would say that about their parents? All right. Then I won't joke with you. I have a high school classmate in Singapore who has invited me many times. It just so happens that I'm very free recently. I'll go and visit her for a few days. Hey. I'll book a plane ticket for you and have someone drive you there. No. I'm used to freedom. I'll do it myself. You don't have to worry about me. In fact, Xingro was very independent. She was surprised that Suyu did everything himself. Hearing Xingro's words, Suyu didn't want to force her. He transferred the money to Xingro's account through WeChat. She was dumbfounded. It was 100,000 yuan. It seemed the rumor that Suyu was a super rich man wasn't just a legend. Suyu, tell me the truth. Does your family have a banknote printing factory? Xingro couldn't help but laugh. Xiao Fei didn't say anything and headed straight for the exit. Amy smirked and followed him secretly. Young Master Qiao, do you really Not Miss Boss anymore? If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have ended up like this. I really regret it. Hearing her words, Xiao Fei stopped and glanced at Amy. He said slowly, sometimes what you think is a lifetime will change everything in an instant. Sometimes you think it's hard to continue, but you'll end up with a lifetime. You can't plan your feelings well. Today you're willing to give up everything, even your life, but tomorrow you'll be a stranger. Life is cruel and love is the most cruel of all. Amy didn't fully understand what he meant, but she could tell that young Master Qiao was sad that Lu Yen didn't understand and trust him. Young Master Qiao, from now on, I'll follow you wholeheartedly and be your female bodyguard. I'll go through hell for you. Young Master Qiao smiled mysteriously and didn't say anything. On the other side, on a luxurious private plane from Brazil to China, Sea City is up ahead. So, who's going to wake up our sleeping boss in the cabin? Lu Yan's subordinates looked at each other but didn't dare to act rashly. Chapter 3302. Why don't we play rock, paper, scissors? Whoever loses will go. What do you think? Someone suggested. Damn it. Rock, paper, scissors again. Can't we play something new? Someone protested. For example, fight the landlord. Hearing this, the others all looked down on him. In the end, they decided to play rock, paper, scissors. The unlucky guy had no choice but to walk to the door of the inner cabin. Boss. He called out softly. There was no response from inside. Boss. We're almost there. Time to get up. There was still no response from inside. The guy made up his mind and raised his voice by several decibels. He gathered chi in his dantian and yelled. Boss Yen, you should get up. Before he could finish, the inner cabin door opened with a bang. A pitch-black pistol was instantly pressed against the kid's head. Shut up. Don't you know that I'll kill anyone who disturbs me when I'm sleeping? Boss, we're almost there. The plane is descending. You'd better get ready for the nice party with Miss Hua. The guy was smart enough to bring up Huamin. Hearing this, Lu Yen put down her pistol in a good mood. I'm in a good mood today. I won't argue with you. Lu Yen turned around and checked the flight record. They had indeed arrived at Sea City. Lying on the bed lazily, she turned on her watch and dialed a familiar number. 10 seconds later, the call went through. And what's up? Dad, guess where I am now? The US? Professor Lu thought his daughter had gone to see him. Oh, I'm too lazy to go to the US. I'm afraid I'll alert the FBI. After all, I'm on the red alert list. Lu Yen chuckled. You're in a good mood. Did you go to see your sister? You're indeed my father. He guessed right. Lu Yen chuckled. Didn't I tell you many times that you can't? Professor Lu didn't finish his sentence. Plus, last time after my sister was kidnapped by Hua Xiqian, Ian and Nalo's people kept contacting brother-in-law's people. I think Ian, that psycho, is not an idiot. He must know my sister's identity. So if that's the case, why should I hide? I can't even recognize my own sister. I think with me here, my sister's safety is guaranteed. After all, we're in China and they won't dare to do anything. Fine, every time I talk about you, you have countless reasons to refute me. Professor Lu didn't know what to do with his daughter. Of course. I'm the daughter of 2 geniuses. That means I have quick reflexes, Lu Yen said proudly. Alright, don't be so smug. When we get there, if you see your sister, tell me about her recent situation. If you're worried about her, why don't you call her and ask her yourself? Lu Yen said. Professor Lu, oh, I know. Dad, you must be afraid of awkward conversations with my sister. Okay, I have to get back to work. So, without answering his daughter's question, the professor turned off the video call. Lu Yen turned off the video on her watch and smiled slightly. Bored at home, Huamin had returned to work at Southside with Qin Chu's permission. His workload had decreased a lot and he was much more relaxed. Director, someone wants to see your number. Should we take it? Qin Jia entered the office and reported in a low voice. Huamin looked up and was slightly surprised. Chapter 3303. Money? My number? Huamin asked. Yes. What kind of person? I think, a young girl. She said she had a rare disease. But I don't treat rare diseases. Huamin smiled helplessly. I've explained it, but the girl didn't listen. She insisted on your number, so the clinic asked me to ask for your opinion. I see. They let her in. Forget about the money. Just charge the usual registration fee, Huamin ordered. Qin Jia nodded and turned to leave. Huamin continued to look at the hospital's report. 5 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Come in. Dr. Hua, I'm the patient who just registered with you. Come and sit down. Huamin didn't notice anything unusual. He put down the black ballpoint pen in his hand. He waved his hand at the girl who came in. The girl wore a simple white long-sleeved shirt, light blue jeans, and white sneakers from a well-known brand. Her long hair was down and she wore a black baseball cap. The most important thing was that half of his face was covered by a black mask, making him look mysterious. Huamin glanced at her and wondered if she was a celebrity or an internet celebrity, so it was inconvenient for her to meet people. Dr. Hua, it's so hard to get your number. We discussed for a long time before you agreed to let me see you, the girl complained as soon as she sat down. Don't blame them. It's my own fault. I'm pregnant now, so I don't take that much work. I'm only in charge of the hospital's management and daily life. Oh, I see. The girl purposely dragged out her words. Where do you feel uncomfortable? I have a lot of strange spots on my face. I don't know what disease it is. Spots? Then you should go to the dermatology department. Huamin felt that he might not be an expert in this field, so he didn't dare to treat her casually. It would be bad if he misdiagnosed. Dr. Hua, you can't be so irresponsible. I know that you doctors push the responsibility to other departments to avoid your own responsibility. No, it's not like that. Young lady, you've misunderstood. What I mean is that I'm only good at obstetrics and gynecology, neurology, orthopedics, or brain surgery. The rest are beyond my ability. I can't treat you rashly. What if I make a mistake and delay your recovery? I'm not afraid of being delayed. I trust you, Dr. Hua. The little girl was extremely stubborn. Hearing her sweet voice, Huamin sighed helplessly. How about this? Take off your mask first and I'll take a look at your face. Is it convenient? The girl didn't say anything. Don't worry. No matter who you are, I won't tell anyone that you came to see me. Keeping the patient's privacy is our most basic professional ethics. Please believe me. Okay then, but Dr. Hua, my face is really scary. You don't have trypophobia, do you? No. You have to be mentally prepared. There are a lot of spots and it's very scary. The little girl warned Huamin again. Don't worry. I'm someone who can eat a bowl of wonton noodles in front of a corpse. I won't be scared. After speaking, Huamin stood up, took out a pair of disinfectant gloves from the disinfectant cabinet behind him and put them on. Then he walked out from behind his desk and stood in front of the little girl. Slowly, he helped her take off her mask. The moment the mask was taken off, Huamin was dumbfounded. It was as if he was sleepwalking. Chapter 3304. My goodness. So, Yan, how come it's you? Lu Yan didn't tell her sister in advance because she wanted to give her a surprise. But she was surprised. Lu Yan pretended to be an unreasonable patient and used this opportunity to get close to Huamin. Huamin didn't expect this at all. Sis, are you surprised? Are you surprised? Lu Yan stuck out her tongue and lifted Huamin up with great strength. Damn girl. Why didn't you tell me? It's so surprising. Maybe because she was pregnant she was very emotional. So she burst into tears. Huamin cried as she spoke. Last time in Australia, Lu Yan left without saying goodbye. Huamin had been sad for a long time and missed her sister dearly. She had thought she wouldn't see Lu Yan again until New Year's Eve. She didn't expect the sisters to meet again so soon. I thought about this way of meeting for a long time on the plane. I knew you'd be surprised. Yes. I'm surprised and happy. Huamin looked up and wiped her tears. Sis, don't cry. Aren't you happy to see me? I'm just happy. There's a phrase called tears of joy. Do you know? Huamin said with a smile. Yes, I know. There's another phrase called sorrow comes after joy. Lu Yan said mischievously. Don't talk nonsense. Put me down. I'm dizzy. Lu Yan picked her up easily and lifted her into the air. He was so strong. Seeing the sisters reunited, Huamin was so happy that she cried. Then she grabbed Lu Yan's hand and wouldn't let go. Yan, where did you go after we parted in Australia? I went to Brazil to catch a trader in Rio de Janeiro. Did you catch him? Yes. Are you hurt? Of course not. Sis, you don't seem to know my strength. Lu Yen laughed arrogantly. I'm just worried about you. Sis, I'm really fine. All these years I've been practicing self-defense the most. If anyone wants to kill me, it won't be that easy. By the way, where is Xiao Fei? Huamin looked around but did not see Xiao Fei. He thought Xiao Fei was waiting outside. He didn't come. He didn't come? Is it outside? No, he didn't come back with me. Then where did he go? Didn't he fall out with his family? Huamin knew that Xiao Fei had nowhere to go. Qin Chu had told her that he had turned against his family in order to run away with Lu Yen. At that time she had lamented that although Xiao Fei didn't speak much, his love for Xiaoyan was incomparable. He missed home, so he went back to Moscow first. Huamin frowned slightly when he heard that. He obviously did not believe his sister's lame excuse. Oh sis, don't ask. I'll explain it to you later. I'm so hungry now. I heard the cafeteria at Southside is good. Can you take me there? Lu Yen asked coquettishly. Of course. But you're finally back. How can I take you to the cafeteria? I must take you to eat good food. Huamin was about to take off his white coat and change into casual clothes. No sis. I just want to experience your daily life. Take me to the cafeteria. Have so many tricks. Finally, Huamin couldn't resist Lu Yan's begging and took her to the cafeteria at Southside. As soon as they entered the door, they were surrounded by onlookers. The reason was simple. Lu Yan was one of the most beautiful women in the world. No matter where she went, no matter what she wore, she would shine. Many female celebrities would turn pale in front of her. Well, who's the girl beside the vice director? She's super beautiful. The people in the hospital talked among themselves. Chapter 3305. Yeah. I've never seen such a beautiful girl. Look at her eyes. They're so beautiful. They're black and very bright. Yeah. She has a great figure. Wow, is she a celebrity? Is she an actress from Imperial Star? Everyone made their guesses. There were even some male doctors with weak willpower who gathered their courage and walked over. Good afternoon, Vice Director. Dr. Zhao. Huamin looked up and smiled. Is she your friend, Vice Director? The male doctor asked shyly. She's my younger sister. Huh. Your younger sister. No wonder she looks so much like you. Huh. Really? But I don't think I look like my sister at all, Lu Yen retorted. No way. You look alike. The male doctor was still trying to find a topic to talk about. But we're not biological sisters. We have different genes. How can we look alike? I'm adopted and my sister is biological. Lu Yen joked. The male doctor was embarrassed. Dr. Zhao, you can go back to your work. Huamin hurried to send him away. So many idiots. Lu Yen chuckled with chopsticks in her mouth. You don't tease me. I don't like that idiot. Hey, sis, let's eat. Lu Yen rarely had such a good appetite. With hundreds of millions of yuan in wealth, she didn't care about any delicacies. In the cafeteria, she ate 2 simple dishes and 1 soup with relish. Maybe it really depended on the people she ate with. Lu Yan's plate was green pepper potato slices, braised carp and seaweed egg soup. Huamin's plate was scrambled eggs with tomatoes, pan-fried pork ribs, and radish meatball soup. While the 2 sisters were eating, they kept swapping dishes and eating each other's dishes. They didn't mind that the other didn't say anything, they even enjoyed it. Sis, is the baby in your belly a boy? How did you know? Huamin was surprised. I can tell from your face. I know a pregnant woman with a boy looks terrible. So you're trying to make me look bad? Huamin was speechless. It's not that ugly, it's just average. Lu Yen, do you want to die? This is my territory. Huamin laughed. The 2 sisters rarely met, but when they did, they were very close. They even had a tacit understanding when joking. This kind of feeling was really the kind of feeling that only blood relatives would have. His dad misses you too. Okay. Huamin nodded. Do you want to call her? Lu Yen didn't wait for Huamin's reply. He raised his watch and dialed the number. There are too many people here. Could it be? Huamin was terrified. He was afraid that his father's identity would be exposed. It's okay. Put on my Bluetooth headset. I won't use a video call this time, Lu Yen said in a low voice. He pulled out 2 Bluetooth earphones out of nowhere and put them on Huamin. The professor's voice came from the other end. Xiaoyan, what's the matter? It's me. Huamin's voice was choked with sobs. Yes, she knew this was her father, but she didn't have a chance to see him. Even calling him was a luxury. Professor Lu fell silent when he heard her call him Dad. The old man seemed very emotional. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. As expected, the old professor's voice was trembling. Was he crying? Dad, thank you for helping me with Qin Chu's surgery and taking care of my daughter, Huamin said in a low voice with tears in his eyes. Silly girl, don't thank me. I owe you too much over the years. Professor Lu's voice was choked with sobs. He seemed even more emotional than before. Dad, I'm fine now. I'm 3 months pregnant. It's a boy. You'll have a grandson soon. Huamin fought back his tears and spoke normally. Chapter 3306. Good. Kid, you must take good care of yourself. Yeah, I will. Dad, you take good care of yourself too. I'm fine. Yan and I are used to it. But you, after you come back from Australia, you must be careful. I'll listen to you. How are Pudding and Little Bean? Have they grown taller? Yeah. Little Bean likes sweets and Pudding likes milk, so they're a little taller than her sister, Huamin replied with a smile. I did a physical test for them last time. Little Bean is a little chubby. You must control her diet and eat more vegetables. How is that possible? Every time I ask her to eat vegetables, she says she's not a little rabbit. Why should she eat vegetables? Huamin laughed with tears in his eyes. Hearing this, Professor Lu's eyes were filled with love and affection. Whenever he thought of his twin granddaughters, his heart would feel warm. It was as if everything in the world had lost its color at that moment. After Yen goes there, you must control her. Don't let her cause trouble at your place, the professor instructed. No. Yen is so smart. She'll protect herself well. I'm not worried about her. I'm worried that she'll hurt other people and innocent people. Ever since she was little, wherever she went, there was chaos. Huamin was amused by his father's words and laughed like a blooming flower. He was no longer as sad as before. Lu Yen pouted. Dad, you're making fun of me again? I'm just telling the truth. Okay. Stop nagging. I'm going to continue eating with my sister. Goodbye, old man. Then Lu Yen hung up. But I wasn't done yet. Huamin was a bit reluctant to leave. This was the first time he had talked to his father in such a serious manner. It was a magical feeling and filled with happiness. For Huamin, family was like a Chinese medicine to her. Therefore, she especially cherished these 2 people who were related to her by blood. The old man is the public enemy of the world. A lot of bad guys want to catch him. We usually don't talk for a long time. I've only talked to him for a dozen seconds at most. This time I've already been lenient with you. It's already been more than 30 seconds. If it's more than 40 seconds, it's easy for those terrorists to track the signal source. You don't want the old man to be in danger, right? I see. Huamin looked down sadly. But it's okay, don't be sad. I'll let you talk to him often in the future, even if it's just a few words each time. Huamin nodded. After dinner, Huamin took Lu Yen back to his office. Lu Yen slumped on the sofa lazily, playing games on her tablet. She didn't like him in the past, but ever since she got together with Qiao Fei, she had been led astray by him. Whenever she was bored, she would take it out to play. It was really devilish. Yen, do you want to eat some fruit? I'll go out and buy some. Sis, don't be so busy. I don't want to eat anything. I'm stuffed just now. If it's okay, can you get me a glass of cold water? Thank you. Lu Yen smiled sweetly. Huamin stood up dotingly and poured a glass of water for Lu Yen from the water dispenser. Then he handed it to her. Yen, how long do you plan to stay this time? Huamin asked expectantly. How long do you want me to stay? Lu Yen looked up, her eyes full of smiles. Do I mean what I say? Will you listen to me? Huamin was also amused. Chapter 3307. Tell me, I'll listen. Lu Yen took a sip of water and continued to chat with her sister. Why don't you just settle down here? Stay here forever. Sis, you're so greedy. Ha, I'm only saying it because you asked me to. I can't live here forever. I'm afraid this place will be blown to the ground because of my arrival. I can't affect your life here. What are you talking about? How can it affect your life? I didn't mean that, sis, calm down. I just think a person like me shouldn't live in one place for too long. Traveling around the world is more suitable for me. Hey. Miss Lu Yen, do you want to write a book about your travels after you retire? It'll be called Traveling Around the World. Humin chuckled. That's a good idea. I'll think about it. It was rare for Lu Yen to stay in one place so quietly. She waited at Southside until Humin got off work. Then she followed Humin to the RV prepared by Qin Chu and went back to South Hill Manor. Lu Yen ordered her subordinates to go have fun by themselves. She gave each of them a sum of money and told them to go have fun by themselves. She didn't want to have anything to do with her subordinates when she was with her family. She just wanted to enjoy this beautiful moment in peace. Before going home, Humin asked the driver to go to the school. This was the most famous international school. It was said that the tuition was as high as 500,000 yuan a year. The students who went to the school were all rich and powerful. They were either the children of top businessmen, political officials, or military leaders. Children from ordinary families didn't have the right to go to the school even if they were good at their studies. In this era where everything depended on one's looks and parents, many things were actually very unfair. But life was just so unfair. Since ancient times, people had always been divided into different grades and ranks. The twins didn't like going to school, but they had nothing to do at home. In the end, they had to listen to their mother and go to school here. Although they had finished their classes a long time ago, they came here to pass the time like an amusement park. The bell rang, signaling the end of class. The twins were escorted out by 2 life teachers and 2 security guards. Sis, I saw someone give you a note this afternoon. What was it about? Was it a love letter? Little Bean asked nosily. If it's not a love letter, could it be that you're asking me to lend you money? Haha, since you love money so much, you won't agree to lend it to me even if I ask you. Why don't I write a love letter and date you first? Then I'll ask you to lend it to me after I become your boyfriend. That way I won't have to return it after I borrow it. Ah, what a deep trap. Shut up. Pudding was speechless. When I woke up this morning, my left eyelid kept twitching. I don't know what's going on. I guess someone wants to treat you to Haagen-Dazs. Hey, do you think so little of me? Can a bowl of Haagen-Dazs satisfy me? At least 2 meals, Little Bean said confidently. That's all you've got. Pudding shook her head. My left eyelid is twitching. Good things are coming. If I'm not going to be promoted, I'm going to be rich. It's so noisy. Stop singing. Can't you change the song? Pudding couldn't take it anymore. Hey, I'll change it. Pop, you're my little apple. I love you no matter how much I love you. Stop. Why don't you sing the song you just sang? Pudding almost wanted to pinch Little Bean to death. At this moment, 2 women were standing at the door. Just look. The one beside Mommy. Is it? Little Bean looked from afar, not sure if she was sure. After taking a closer look, Pudding's heart skipped a beat. Huamin, sis, ask your husband if he wants to treat you or not. Of course. We'll treat you even if you eat 100 bowls. Huamin laughed. Mommy, 100 bowls only cost 200 yuan. Do you want to stuff auntie to death with 200 yuan? If that's the case, I won't have an auntie anymore, Little Bean said seriously. Immediately, everyone burst into laughter. Lu Yen held each of their hands and got into the RV. Huamin sent Qin Chu a WeChat message, telling him to meet them at Oxian's Ramen. As soon as they got into the car, Lu Yen asked nosily, Little Bean, who's Gao Buyan? You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.